Yo, what's up out there, YouTube? It's STL0320 representing JVS. Just want to give you a quick heads up. Last night I was able to actually screen the new Stephen King's It. And I'll say off Jump Street, I looked at the old one over the weekend for the very first time. I'd always heard stories about it, people freaking out, people becoming clown phobic or something to that nature over that movie. And this is not going to give them any help because they definitely take the concept or the good parts of, the original one that was about 4 hours long in 2 movies, essentially, that was only on TV, and they condensed it in a really good way. And I got to definitely say it was 10 times better than the one that was the original. And I'm talking about It. They actually gave us a lot of interesting things. They gave us like pins, they gave us like t-shirts, they gave us free popcorn. So shout out to, I think, Sony Pictures that is actually, I guess, doing the production for this. I'm not getting paid for that. I'm just telling you, they treated us well. So off Jump Street, one of the things that caught my eye about this movie was the cinematography and the sense of scope. Like the original one, I could tell they were going off a certain kind of budget. They would always go back to the same central locations, and they do that in this movie. Like it always takes place back at the creek or in the tunnels or at somebody's house. But they also explore out the town. They actually show like the scope of the town. There's this one shot that comes out of the tunnel, goes full 180, and then goes and elevates into the air. And like I gotta tell you, the cinematography is just great. The soundtrack sound like a soundtrack that Danny Elfman would do. Like the soundtrack sounded eerie and like epic. And then when there's moments when like the clown comes up, whenever the clown comes up, like you're not hearing like a soundtrack, you hear silence. Like it would be like a pin drop. Another good thing I'll talk about is Bill Skarsgård, who plays Pennywise. Dude, this guy, he's got some range because there are moments legit that he sounded so eerie. I was like, this thing is something else. Like it's not human. Like it's very evident the way that it actually talks. Like the original one, you know what I'm saying? Like R.I.P. to my man, but like, he tried to come off very funny and forthcoming and just weird. This one was just eerie. And I think that he does a better job of conveying like this alien or foreign nature that's just methodical, because what they were able to do in this one is the CG. The CG is actually really on point. When, he starts transforming or making like makeshift moves. There was one time where he was stuffed into this locker, right? And like the kid was on the outside, and all of a sudden, like you see the hand come out, then you see like his body contorting, and it makes it bad because one of the kids got hurt really bad. And he sees this, and he's petrified. And the audience kind of feels it too, because like you see him kind of like shifting his bones in the slowest way possible, and then just coming out of the closet. And like legit, like it was a really well done acted scene and like shot scene. So the CG and the way that Bill Skarsgård is actually, acting as this character Pennywise or It is very good. The other good thing about this movie, and you notice I'm talking nothing but good things about this movie. I haven't given you anything negative, right? So the character Mike in Stranger Things is one of the characters in this movie, Richie. And I think it was played by Seth Green back in the day. And Seth Green is a funny dude, and he definitely, kind of raised the funny moments in, the original. But the guy, I think what is his name? Finn Woodard, he does such a great job of playing this comedic relief that like he comes out with these jokes that be cracking me up. And like it's funny because like he goes back and forth tit for tat with a couple of them, but even like the other characters do a really good job as well. Like the guy Bill, like he definitely plays like this. I mean, I don't know, it's weird because the character Bill, like he makes some really choice decisions, but by the end of the movie I understand. Like there's this moment where he has this emotional beat and he starts talking about his brother, what happens to his brother and how that really affected him, and like all the different stupid mistakes that he makes, it makes justification of it. The other thing that they do really well in this from a story standpoint, they concentrate on just the kids. They don't concentrate on any of the adults, like who their parents were. They do bring it they bring scope into the parents. Like, even the character Mike, who's the African-American kid, they talk about his backstory a little bit more as well, like how he's homeschooled and a little bit more about, you know, how he's brought up, what happened to his parents. And, like, that didn't come through to me in the original one. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even they had the dad from, you know, Tia and Tamara, like, I didn't hear enough from the kids. This was not their adult story at all. So know that going into the movie, that things changed. Things changed as far as the way things are paced out, but they take the silhouette of what made, you know, a good part of the old one really good, and they just explore it. Like, I legit felt like this was like a Stranger Things kind of like thing. And the chick that plays Beverly, Sophia Lillis, she's gonna be a star. She's gonna be a star because she's got this kind of look about her of innocence, but at the same exact time, like, she can change, you know, into, all right, I'm gonna go and do this. And it reminded me like a young Drew Barrymore mixed with, what's that chick's name from 16 Candles? I forget her name, but she has that look, and she does a really good job in this movie. All the kids legit do a really good job of conveying, you know, they are kids from the 80s. Like, I legit felt like this is a mixture of The Sandlot, Stranger Things, and like, what was that movie? I forget that movie from Stephen King. Well, not Stephen King, but Steven Spielberg. Oh man, it was a monster movie. I forget the name of it. But either way, I can say this, that It 2017 is actually a good time. Like, it was actually very entertaining. The spooky moments when they happen, like, I wasn't like so petrified that I was like, ugh, but there were moments that I was kind of like, oh snap. Oh snap. You know, and if you are a person that fears clowns, this might not be the movie for you, because this might actually trip you up a little bit. Like, legit, there's this moment with some things that happen to one of the kids who's actually scared of clowns, and I was just like, oh man, I feel so bad for this kid. And Pennywise in this movie, you thought, you know, the old one tortured kids. Nah, this dude tortures kids, and this is very dark. Like, you can definitely tell this is on a rated R theme. There's not a whole lot of blood, but when there are violent moments that happen, you see blood. You see blood. They don't hold back. This is not a PG-13 story, and it services that, because the kids, not that they act like adults, but they act like kids, you know, in a real world kind of situation. So they're not making any kind of dumb mistakes other than just being petrified or being tortured, you know. And that this is one moment with the character Beverly that I was like, oh my gosh, are they really about to go here with this? But they do a really good job. So for me, I actually give it an 8.5 out of 10. I actually want to give it a little bit higher, but I want to make sure I keep, you know, a certain bias, because I'm comparing it to the old one, and comparing it to the old one, like, shoot, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10, but I'm going to keep, you know, my critical side and just say this is definitely a good time, very entertaining, very scary. Don't take your kids to see it. 8.5 out of 10. If any of you guys are, you know, fans of Stranger Things, this takes the bar a little bit higher in terms of tone, and in terms of darkness of certain things that happen, but it definitely has that Goonies, Sandlot, and Stranger Things feel to it. So that is my review for It. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you check it out in about 2 weeks, and talk to you guys later. Keep it locked. JVS. We ain't gonna stop. Peace, everybody.